Coming up on the Northwestern News Report.
Ready for Hillary? The candidate comes to Evanston.
All you can eat, a popular restaurant competition returns.
And breaking news here on campus, a Northwestern professor resigns.
All those stories and more.
Coming up on the Northwestern News Report. It's your news right now.
Good evening, I'm Jesse Kirsch.
And I'm Isa Gutierrez. Thanks for joining us.
Tonight we begin with breaking news as Northwestern professor Peter Ludlow announced his resignation yesterday. That's tonight's top story.
You may remember Peter Ludlow, the Northwestern philosophy professor accused of sexually assaulting an undergraduate student in February 2012. Ludlow's case and the student's lawsuit against the university garnered national attention. An internal investigation by the university found that Ludlow sexually harassed 2 students. This week, Northwestern moved to have him fired. And yesterday, Ludlow officially offered his resignation. That's according to the Chicago Tribune. We'll bring you updates on this story as they become available.
The presidential campaign trail brought Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton to Chicago and even Evanston yesterday. NNN's political director Jamie Lovegrove is live from the site of one of yesterday's fundraisers. So Jamie, what was the former Secretary of State doing in Wildcat territory?
Well, yes, Jesse, I'm here in front of the Evanston home of Eric Jansen, who is the president of Chicago Real Estate Resources. And he was the host yesterday for Hillary Clinton of one of her 3 fundraisers in the Chicago area. And there were some notable attendees here at the House. Evanston Mayor Elizabeth Tisdall, Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, who represents Evanston, and also Fred Eichener, who is a big upcoming name in Democratic politics, a major donor to some Democratic candidates. He was also here. It's unlikely that there were any Northwestern students here, as tickets to the event cost a minimum of $2,700. If you do shell out that $2,700, you get to take a ticket. You get to take a picture with the secretary. So there were some privileges there, but a high price to pay.
Well, speaking of Chicago more broadly, it tends to be a Democratic stronghold, but Bernie Sanders, the senator from Vermont, has been challenging Clinton in the polls. How have the local activists here in Illinois responded to Clinton so far?
Well, Jesse, yesterday was certainly a very successful day for the Clinton campaign. Numbers provided from the campaign say that they raised at least $1.2 million in the 3 fundraisers yesterday. By comparison, that's almost as much as Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal has raised in the course of his entire campaign. So certainly a successful day. And this was the 4th trip that Hillary Clinton has made to the Chicago area over the course of her campaign. She was born in Chicago. She was raised in Park Ridge, Illinois. She certainly knows this area very well and holds it very dear to her heart. And not only that, but over the course of this campaign, at least up until the fundraising numbers were reported in September, Hillary Clinton had raised $2.6 million out of the $3.1 million that Illinois Democrats had donated to Democratic candidates. So she is certainly still the front runner among donors and activists in the Chicago area.
Jamie, did the secretary have the chance to do anything else while she was here in Chicago?
Well, Jesse, I'm not sure if she was able to take in any of the typical tourist sites in Chicago. Obviously, she knows the city well already. But something that she did take a couple hours to do in the afternoon before her Evanston fundraiser is she met with about a dozen mothers, many of them African-American, who have had children who have been killed over the last few years. Some of those were sadly very high-profile cases. Trayvon Martin's mother and Michael Brown's mother was also there. And also the mothers of several Chicago-based victims. And that's, certainly a part of Hillary Clinton's push in recent weeks and even recent days on the issues of crime, on the issues of criminal justice and police brutality. And also, she's really making a concerted push here for the African-American vote. And caring about those issues is significant for that matter, too.
And you'll have plenty more on all of this Thursday night. For Politicat, Jamie Lovegrove for us tonight. Thanks.
Thanks, Jesse.
A Northwestern professor was recently awarded a prestigious award by the American Physical Society. Weinberg professor Vicky Calogera received the 2016 Hans A. Bethe Prize for her innovative research in a relatively new area of astrophysics. As part of the award, she earned $10,000 to put towards continuing her work. Calogera's research focuses on problems found in the Milky Way and other galaxies.
My theoretical work in terms of predictions and also in terms of how these double compact objects appear in other electromagnetic waves is what led to my selection for the prize.
Calogera will accept the award at the American Physical Society's April 2016 meeting.
When you hear George R.R. Martin, you might think of Game of Thrones, but you don't always think of Medill. Well, that's where the famous author got his start, and tomorrow he's coming back. Northwestern is hosting 2 events with Martin. One is specific to Medill and will focus on how his journalism background translates into his current work. The other is a university-wide Q&A where students can ask about anything, from details about the 6th novel in the series to Martin's deep love of green chili.
Coming up, how one Chicago comedian is using humor to redefine the way we see culture.
I'm Fallon Gallagher, and coming up, we'll have your 5-day weather forecast.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern, break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
Why spend your entire life looking for some on-ramp to the road to opportunity when there's already a well-traveled path? So you may be wondering, what does that path look like? Is it paved with gold? Well, here's a hint. It's actually paved with purple. Northwestern University. Your road starts here.
I'm Fallon Gallagher, and here's your 5-day weather forecast. Wednesday is going to be a beautiful Indian summer day with a high of 68 and a low of 59. Temperatures will remain warm Thursday with a high of 70, but they'll dip back down to a more seasonable and windy 55 on Friday. Saturday will bring crisp and sunny weather when the Cats take on Penn State. Sunday will be another beautiful day with more sunny skies and a high of 55 degrees. Make sure to spend some time outside this week because picture-perfect weather won't last much longer in Heavenston. I'm Fallon Gallagher, and this has been your 5-day weather forecast.
On Thursday, Northwestern's Muslim Cultural Student Association hosted Chicago comedian Azhar Usman. Named America's Funniest Muslim by CNN, Usman performed a stand-up routine focusing on his Muslim identity. Meredith Sonnenfeld and Ben Trachtenberg have the story.
Students filled McCormick Foundation Center Thursday night to hear comedian Azhar Usman's one-man show, Un-American, A Patriot Act. Event organizers said Usman's perspective is an important one for Northwestern students.
People have this idea of Islam, and then we wanted to break down that stereotype. And also it's funny for Muslims as well because he makes a lot of jokes that we can connect to that we might not necessarily get from your average comedian.
Usman's performance followed 3 opening acts. All 3 discussed themes of racial and religious tension in America through comedy.
I liked how it took a lot of kind of contemporary issues or modern day issues that we see today and then just made fun of them in a way. So normally these types of things are things we kind of want to stay away from.
Usman's set explored fatherhood, his experience with his Muslim identity, and some larger philosophical issues.
And some of the most iconic great Americans were at one time denounced as un-American. So to me, I wanted to kind of bite off that energy and that vibe where it's like, you know what, I'm going to take that label and I'm going to own it.
Usman says he was influenced by comedians Bill Hicks, George Carlin, and Richard Pryor, but he says Dave Chappelle's mentorship had the greatest impact.
I've gotten to tour with him, I've gotten to work with him, and I've benefited so much from my friendship and my brotherhood with Chappelle.
Meredith Sonnefeld and Ben Trachtenberg, Northwestern News Network.
The MCSA event supported the Karam Foundation, which raises funds to aid Syrian refugees.
Northwestern students may notice a new, greener change in campus C-stores soon. Bottled water will be removed from campus stores over the next several months. The change comes thanks to a partnership between the Northwestern administration and student environmental group Pura Playa. The group is working towards a completely bottled water-free Northwestern. The effort is part of a multi-year environmental push for Pura Playa.
I've personally put 3 years into this, and it started about a year and a half before I joined Pura Playa, so it's just a great feeling.
Pura Playa is also looking to eliminate bottled water at NU events and in campus vending machines.
We wanted to know what you thought about this change in the C-stores, so we asked you about it in this week's edition of Rock Talk.
I think it's a great idea. It'll get people to use their refillable water bottles and get rid of plastic water bottles, which are bad for the environment because a lot of the times people don't recycle them.
I live right by a landfill back at home, and so I think it's really important for people to start thinking about, what their pollution does to the environment, to small communities, things like that.
But I think just like starting to foster a mentality where water becomes a precious resource rather than something we take as a given is a really big thing that we can do.
I'm concerned that there's not enough refillable water stations around campus to make it a particularly viable option right now. So I'm glad that it's something they're thinking about, and I just hope that they're able to accommodate that need around campus.
I only use a reusable water bottle anyways, so I think it's a really good idea, and it'll kind of force people to reuse their bottles more often than not.
If you have an idea for a future Rock Talk topic, tweet at us at @NNN_news.
In honor of its centennial celebration, the Garden Club of Evanston partnered with Northwestern University to host a symposium Sunday afternoon on the challenges facing Lake Michigan. Titled Making Waves, Our Water, Our Legacy, the symposium was held in the Norris University Center. It featured J. David Rankin, Dr. George Wells, and Deborah Shore on the expert panel. Speakers discussed the ecological impact of Lake Michigan, which holds 20% of the world's fresh water, as well as the importance of its conservation.
I think we wanted to have a slightly different take on the water symposiums that are available to interested folks, and Northwestern provided that extra.
The event also honored the 100th anniversary of the Shakespeare Garden, the club's founding project in 1915.
After the break, we'll take a look at how one Northwestern saxophone player is reaching crowds outside of Evanston.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, What's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
Why spend your entire life looking for some on-ramp to the road to opportunity when there's already a well-traveled path? So you may be wondering, what does that path look like? Is it paved with gold? Well, here's a hint. It's actually paved with purple. Northwestern University. Your road starts here.
Northwestern student got the chance of a lifetime for his musical career. NNN's Amanda Blazek has the story. Amanda?
Thanks, Isa. Josh Schwartz-Dodek has played saxophone for years, and recently he got the chance to show Chicago that all that practice has paid off. He and his band had the opportunity to open at the House of Blues.
Josh Schwartz-Dodek first started playing jazz in 7th grade. In his junior year of high school, he joined together with 6 friends to create the band Zaramella.
In high school, the jazz band, I guess, is where I kind of got my love for playing that kind of music. And so we just kind of started jam after school. We got the chance to go in the studio, and then it kind of went from there.
Josh says Zaramella's sound has changed and grown over the last 4 years as the members' musical and technical skills have improved.
You have to go through a process of learning what it's like to play together. I have no doubt this is the best stuff we've ever done together.
Josh is great because he walks the fine line of being a musician and being a pragmatic, logical, rational human being. He's really good at kind of stripping everything back and making sure what needs to be heard is heard and everything else kind of sits underneath it.
On Friday night, Josh performed with his 7-piece band at the House of Blues in downtown Chicago. He says performing is his favorite part of being a musician.
It's actually a cool break from kind of the scene here on campus. When I'm doing the music stuff, I don't feel busy. I feel like I'm chilling and doing what I want to do. The way I truly get into the moment in my life is by playing music, and in general, but with those guys is when it really clicks. I couldn't give that up for anything.
Although Josh doesn't know where music will take him, he is grateful for the opportunity to have music in his life.
I definitely want to keep playing music for my whole life, and I want to keep doing Zaramella. It's super fun. Definitely keep playing shows, keep making music, keep jamming, which is what it's all about. And if I had the opportunity to be a performing artist and perform and have that be my livelihood, I would absolutely do it.
When Schwartz-Dodek isn't wowing Chicago audiences, he's at Northwestern, hard at work becoming a mechanical engineer.
Just because Halloween has passed doesn't mean that the festivities are over. NNN's Jamie Leventhal traveled to the National Museum of Mexican Art on Sunday to get a modern twist on some old traditions.
Hundreds of Chicagoans came out on Sunday evening to celebrate Dia de los Muertos at the first ever Day of the Dead event in the city of Chicago. While some came for the arts and crafts and parade, others attended to get a little taste of home.
I wanted to come and see what I grew up with. Ofrendas, that's what my grandma and me would do together every year.
Although many of the traditional flowers, breads, and candles could be seen to celebrate the holiday, the ofrendas, or offerings to those who have passed on, sought to create a conversation about social injustices.
Our stand represents all those undocumented students who sadly, due to social and governmental issues, aren't able to keep with their education. So it's a memory of their dead dreams.
Roa, who works with an organization from North Grand High School, aims to provide college funds for undocumented students. She hopes that her ofrenda will raise awareness for these students and get them back in school.
It opens the mind of other people, and it gets them thinking. And if we don't talk about it, nothing will ever be done.
Roa's offering wasn't the only one straying from tradition. Gina Rodriguez not only honored her mother on Dia de los Muertos, but she used the story of her mother's murder to promote gun control.
I see little no gun stickers. That's just hate. Every time I see one, it's a reminder that my mom was murdered because of this, because of lack of gun control.
Rodriguez and her family decorated their altar with their mother's favorite lottery cards, flowers, and photos.
A person's not dead until you stop remembering them, and that's when they truly die.
Each one of the 75 ofrendas give a unique story of a loved one who passed away and help to educate the public about a very special holiday.
By understanding a culture, it will support more than trying to pick that culture out if you support it and understand it.
This has been Jamie Leventhal with the Northwestern News Network.
Families from all around Chicago and the U.S. came for this year's event.
The force is strong with George Lucas and now Chicago. The Star Wars creator finally received the green light this week for his Museum of Narrative Art to be built. The new museum will be built just south of Soldier Field and will highlight storytelling in image and film. It will also feature large exhibits dedicated to Lucas's Star Wars and Indiana Jones franchises. The $440 million project was on hold for more than a year as plans were debated in City Council. Construction on the museum is expected to begin sometime next year.
When we come back, we'll tell you how the Cats did on the court last week.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern, break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
Why spend your entire life looking for some on-ramp to the road to opportunity when there's already a well-traveled path? So you may be wondering, what does that path look like? Is it paved with gold? Well, here's a hint. It's actually paved with purple. Northwestern University. Your road starts here.
The football team didn't have a game this weekend, but that doesn't mean that other Northwestern sports were at a full stop.
That's right, Jesse, and here's Ariel Schwartz with some of this weekend's highlights.
And boy, was it an exciting weekend, especially for the volleyball team. The 33rd ranked Wildcats tore up the court against number 41 Michigan State on Halloween night at Welsh Ryan Arena. Let's go to the highlights. Northwestern lost the first set but fired in the second. 2 points from set Taylor Tashima to Maddie Slater for the kill. Ace by Kirsten Meyer to take the set in the second game. Cats continue to dominate in third game, up 24-20, looking like a point for the Spartans, but then dig. Kark's Neataspill leads to a kill by Sophia Lavin. Match point, bump set spike kill by Kayla Morin. Cats win with a final score of 3-1. The Cats return tomorrow night to take on the Fighting Illini at Welsh Ryan. Turning now to women's soccer. Michigan not looking too great either, with only 3 shots in the half. Attempted goal caught by Lauren Clem. And used luck not better. Nandi Mehta from way out in the 27th minute dribbles to Megan Hins, shoots and saves leading into the half. 3 minutes into the second half, goal by Michigan, Nikki Waldeck, assist by Corinne Harris. Goal number 3 for season, Michigan up 1-0. Cats come up short in rest of game. Late shot by Addie Steiner, no good. Coach Michael Moynihan walks off defeated. Cats lose 1-0 and are now eliminated from Big Ten tourney. The Cats' Big Ten tournament hopes may be over, but Coach Michael Moynihan said he remains optimistic the Cats will make the NCAA tournament. Now on to men's soccer. Cats start up in the second half with a block by Joey Cleastry. Mike Roberge open, fires a shot in top right corner goal. Northwestern ties it up with less than 12 minutes in the game after a scoreless first half for the Cats. It is now looking hopeful for NU. 2.5 minutes later, Camden Busher, corner kick to Henry Harrell, heads in, save. Penn State clears ball, but Nathan Dirth deflects it into the goal. Cats closing a win with a score 2-1 against the Nittany Lions.
All right, thanks, Ariel. And let's not forget football is back at Ryan Field this Saturday, right?
Yes, and it's a big one. Penn State coming off a 39-0 shutout against Maryland. It's an important game for both teams heading into the final weeks of the season.
Well, we will be watching. And we hope you're still hungry for more here on the Northwestern News Report, because when we come back, we'll take a look at one Evanston restaurant's big tradition.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
We've heard of hot dog eating contests, but what about sushi? For some Northwestern students, a favorite eatery has become the field of competition. Here's Zoe Davis with more.
Todoroki hosted its third annual sushi eating competition Saturday afternoon. 3 women and 10 men competed in separate competitions. To win, participants either had to finish the plate of sushi first or eat the most pieces in 12 minutes.
I thought the guy next to me was smoking the competition. But 4 minutes in, that turned out to not be the case.
Weinberg sophomore Kevin Tian won the male competition, finishing in 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Catherine Carnesi, a Medill freshman, won the female competition, eating 67 pieces in the allotted time.
I think it's really great publicity. If I were to own a restaurant like this, I would definitely do something like this because it brings people out, it gets people excited.
To celebrate Halloween, Todoroki gave the audience member with the best costume a free dinner on Halloween for them and a guest.
I thought it would be fun to just watch people stuff sushi into their faces, and I really like Todoroki, and I didn't have anything going on today. It's Halloween. Thought it would be fun.
The winners received all-you-can-eat sushi from Todoroki, valid once a week for all of winter quarter. Zoe Davis, Northwestern News Network.
How about that? I could never eat that much sushi.
Jesse, I think we have a replay of that. Can we get that rolling?
Let's go to the tape.
Look at that.
Oh, and the slow-mo,
Oh,
the
man.
instant replay, NNN's finest.
That is incredible. That's what we have to do next Halloween.
That's great work by our crew. As Al Michaels would say, do you believe in miracles? Yes!
Jesse, you are not Al Michaels, and this is not Olympic hockey.
You're right. It's been the Northwestern News Report. I'm Jesse Kirsch.
I'm Ariel Schwartz for sports.
And I'm Isa Gutierrez. Thanks for joining us.
Gotta read. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine.